everyone. Thanks for joining our webinar today. Today, I'm delighted to introduce Dr. Cristina Casas. She is owner and board certified pediatrician at Daisy Pediatrics, which is a DPC pediatric clinic located in Santa Clarita, California, just north of Los Angeles. Thank you so much, Cristina, for being here to talk to us and share your expertise on performing infant circumcisions. I'll just turn the time over to you.
Oh, thank you very much. So definitely a pleasure to be here, and hopefully this will be helpful. So let me go ahead and start sharing screen. All right. Hopefully that turns out to be full screen for you guys, right? So today, of course, we're here to discuss infant circumcisions. So real quick, just a little bit about myself. So I was graduated from the University of Washington for my undergraduate degree. I went to Drexel University College of Medicine. The military was great in recruiting me in there. And so I spent my residency and about almost 10 years of active duty time in the military itself. What I always thought was interesting about the military is they're very procedure heavy. So they're like, if you're a pediatrician, when you want to do anything with babies, you're going to do it. And so, which I think was helpful in the long run now that I've done a DPC. So, gosh, I would say since starting in 2010, I've done circumcisions and a lot of them. So after that, so I was an Army pediatrician until 2019. I did a private practice from 2019 to 2022, and seeing the state of insurance-based care there was not the way I was going to stay. And I opened my my DPC in September of last year. As of now, I mean, I don't know if we'll ever use this for CME or not, but no real disclosures. I don't have any like skin in the game as far as endorsements or anything. So with that, I'll kind of jump in. So the big thing to kind of remember is circumcisions now are a bit of a controversial topic. So there's these big groups that are like, no, we shouldn't have them. It's horrible. It's barbaric. But then there's also this very big cultural thing that we have to kind of pay attention to. So when I think about infant circumcisions and the stance in general with both like ACOG and AAP is that there are some health benefits. Now, if you ever Google this or go down the AAP rabbit hole, you'll see that people are trying to make rebuttals about some of those health benefits, mainly because the statement of the cultural biases, how we don't really have a great long-term data about if it affects sexual function or not, that kind of thing. But basically, the overall consensus is that we need non-biased education and counseling for both early pregnant moms and early infancy for parents, so they understand, especially if there's going to be more of a cultural religious push. We need people who are actually trained to do that so that there is availability for those families that decide it is better for them. And then we just need to make sure that as this is an elective procedure, that there are standards in place to ensure that only healthy, stable infants get it with people who are properly trained and know how to do things like the proper anesthesia for infants. So, and I think that's kind of where I kind of land on this too. I'm not sure if you've seen it as much in other areas, but in our area in particular, one of the local hospitals just outright refuses to do them anymore. So now it's not part of newborn care. And so I'm seeing a little more of a push of people like wanting to discuss it in the outpatient realm. And let's see, I'm not sure if no, I'll come back to this. So another kind of interesting topic when it comes to the timing, and I think I'll get into that a little bit later, is that if you don't do a circumcision within the first 24 hours, and again, this has changed a little bit, then from 22 to 72 hours, if you do a circumcision in that window, there is some concern that it affects the breastfeeding dyad. So, which I think is definitely important to take into consideration. So moving forward, the big things and most important thing I think is going to have a good consent. So for consents, especially for these type of elective procedures, a lot of times people just don't fully understand what is involved. So just basics that always need to be considered in any form of consent form is your definition, your risks, benefits, absolute contraindications, and alternatives to the procedure. So I just have my consent form that I have up here, which actually has turned a few families off of doing circumcisions, which I guess, good information, right? So I kind of put my example up through here. And the big things we want to kind of concern about is most people don't actually know what to do with an uncircumcised penis. So in the end of my consent form here, I talk about, well, how would you care for a penis that is uncircumcised to kind of like wash away that fear of other issues.